What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kay Monet. Welcome to another episode of my healing journey. So in the last episode, the old me pulled up on me and she had a lot to say. We almost got into it because she was doing the most, but at the end we came to a mutual agreement and I started to understand her a little bit more. She started to understand me a little bit more, so we're good. But she's not joining us today, so for all of you who are like, ooh, what's next? Nope, she's not coming. She's not coming today. We had enough of her last episode. Maybe a little bit later I might bring her back, but not today. But still stick around because I still have more ratchet adventures to tell you about. So last time we talked about how Isaac and I were no longer seeing each other eye to eye and how he went back to his old girlfriend, and then I got in my feelings and I got drunk, and then Courtney came and took care of me. It was a whole thing, right? So now I'm spending a little bit more time with Courtney. If y'all remember correctly, I was trying to kind of push him off because I was like, this is gonna be too much emotion for me. Him and I were basically twins before twin even became a trend. Everybody now say, what's up, twin? Him and I were that before. We had so much in common that it was scary, and it wasn't like a good thing. Sometimes you have stuff in common with people and you're just like, oh, that's my boo. No, this was going to end in tragedy. Either way we tried to do, it was going to end messed up. But he was the only one left. I kept trying to push him to the side, but he just kept showing up. He was so persistent. So him and I started hanging out a little bit more. And it got a little crazy because, like I said, we were the same person. Not only did we have the same love language, we also had the same attachment style, which was horrible. So people talk a lot about love languages. You know that there's 5. There's physical touch, there's quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, and gifts. Those first 2, the quality time and physical touch, were my love languages at the time, and they were his as well. So we spent a lot of time together. We spent a lot of time touching each other. We did a whole bunch of things, and it kind of got us together. But we also had similar attachment styles. At some point, I am going to go through all of the attachment style, but it's a lot to dig into. There's 4 different types, and I have not had enough time to do enough research on all of them to give you the full gist of all of them, but I can tell you about mine, which is the avoidant attachment style. So what is an avoidant attachment style? It sounds just like its name. You avoid attachment. So basically they avoid the emotional part of a relationship, but they kind of encourage the rest of it. It's a really bizarre type thing. It's kind of like those people that play with your feelings. They make you fall in love, and then all of a sudden they be like, well, I told you I didn't want anything special. That's those people. That was me and that was him. And imagine us both having that same attachment style, trying to be together. Like, we're repelling each other, but also trying to draw each other in. It was crazy. It was nuts. So basically, I wanted to be cuddled. I wanted to be kissed on. I wanted to be loved on. I always wanted to be up under him. He would let me be the big spoon sometimes. I would be so excited. Like, the big spoon. We would have a really good time, but then when things would get too heavy, we would try to sabotage and start dating somebody else and kind of like throw it in the other person's face. Like, oh yeah, I'm going out over here. Or he would have a house party or something, and then he would dip off into one of the back rooms with one of the other girls, knowing that I'm there looking, and I'm like, say less. I would go and meet up with one of my hoes and we would just be even, and then we would come back together like nothing happened. It was a very, very toxic situation, which I don't understand why it lasted so long, because we were not good for each other. I think if we were both healed and if we both kind of dealt with our demons separately and then came back together, then maybe. But then honestly, if we did that, we probably wouldn't have had nothing in common. Him and I were trauma bonding. We grew up similar. So when we would have these talks, I learned a lot about his childhood, and he was fat when he was younger, and he was an ugly duckling too. So we kind of bonded over those things. And I think that that's what brought us a little bit closer, but it also kind of tore us apart because I like you, and it's supposed to just be sex. We're supposed to just be hanging out, doing whatever, living in sin and going on about our business. But now I'm actually talking to you, and I'm actually liking you, and I'm actually sympathizing with you, and I'm learning about your childhood. I'm learning about what makes you you. I'm learning about what makes you tick. I'm learning all these different things. It was bad. We should have just stayed friends, or we should have just not dealt with each other at all. There were so many different things there that just kept attracting us to each other, but we should have just left it alone. It was not good for us to be together, because I know whoever came after us had to deal with a lot of different things because we messed each other up, for real. It just wasn't the best. So what ended up happening is we would do little dumb stuff to each other. He would flirt with somebody in front of me, and I would strategically go on these dates and then post them on my social media so that he can have an attitude. But then we would come right back together and do whatever it was that we would do and act like it didn't bother us, but it really did. And then then we started spending significant holidays together. One time it was Valentine's Day, and we didn't want each other to spend Valentine's Day with somebody else, but we also didn't want to say that we wanted to celebrate Valentine's Day together, because once again, the avoidant attachment style says we're not in a real relationship. We don't want all the emotions that go with that, but we want some of the things that go along with the relationship. So I remember Valentine's Day was on a Tuesday or something. So he says, "What you doing on Tuesday?" And I'm looking at him like, "Sir, you know Tuesday is Valentine's Day, but I'm gonna play along with you because this is where we are. We're both dumb and we're both playing these stupid games and winning stupid prizes." So I say, I don't have anything really planned on Tuesday. And he was like, "Okay, you want to order some takeout and just stay here?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." So we avoided the whole going out to dinner and being around all the couples and being lovey-dovey, but we stayed in the house, basically kind of like checking on each other, making sure that neither one of us was on our phone talking to anybody else, making sure that we weren't getting gifts or making no last minute runs to be with anybody. We were just, it was weird. It was toxic. So we had our holidays that we were celebrating but not celebrating. And then it got to the point where we would have our days where it would just be Courtney and Kay Day. It would just be us. So every Thursday it would be, no matter what you have to do, no matter what you got going on, no matter what's happening, me and you are gonna be together on Thursday. This is Kay Day. Thursday is Kay Day. So we started hanging out every Thursday, and lo and behold, one Thursday I get super sick. I'm at work. I'm not feeling the best. I was down bad, okay? So I came home. I like threw up everywhere. I passed out in my room, and I didn't call him and let him know that I was sick because I'm sick. Like, I'm sorry, I'm throwing up my guts. I don't really have time to be like, "Hey baby, going to miss you tonight. Can't have our K day because my guts are over here." So I passed out, you know, whatever. I don't know what's going on. And apparently he had been texting me all night and calling me and all these different things. And I didn't answer because once again, I'm sick. And I guess he decides to pull up, and he's basically stalking me. He's outside of my apartment and he sees some shadows or something in my window. So all of a sudden I'm cheating on him on K Day. So the next day I wake up to all these text messages and all these phone calls of him going smooth off because he thinks that I'm trying to play him. Now, part of me is upset, but not upset that he thought that, because I did play. I was so unserious back then. I was just kind of like, I'm here for one reason. You know what the reason is, but I also want you to like me, so I'm going to talk to you. But then I also, when things get a little bit too deep, my avoidant attachment style is going to have me detach from you. So he had every right to think that I was playing him, but I actually wasn't. Like, I actually was not trying to play him. I was really sick and I just really couldn't answer the phone. But after he got so upset at me, I kind of decided to cut ties. I decided to ghost him. And that's another trait that's not a good one for people who have an avoidant attachment style. We don't really like emotions. We're very emotional creatures, and we try to avoid it because we don't like the way it makes us feel. We don't like to feel rejected, so we try to avoid it at all costs. A lot of people with avoidant attachment styles are also people pleasers because they are trying to avoid the rejection, right? So when they see something gets too emotional, something that they can't handle, they just detach, they avoid, they ghost. So that's what I did to him. So he's calling, I'm not answering. He's texting, I'm not answering. He's stopping by, I'm telling my roommate, don't let him in, don't let him know I'm here. I'm parking like on the other side of the apartment complex so he won't see my car. I am ducking and dodging this dude because it's getting too familiar to me. We already spending Valentine's Day together. Our conversations are getting a little bit too, you know, just too emotional for me, and I'm just not at a point where I can handle it, so I back off. So I think I'm doing good. It's been about 2 weeks. I haven't been answering his phone calls. I have not been touching base with him. I'm thinking eventually he's just gonna leave me alone, which he does. He stops texting, everything's fine. But we live close. Okay, we live in the same city. So Atlanta is like an hour away from Atlanta, but there's certain cities where you just live in and then everything is close. There's one grocery store here, everybody goes to that grocery store. And we just happen to be at that grocery store on the exact same day at the exact same time, and he rose up on me like, I've been calling you. So now I'm stuck because I'm like, there's nowhere for me to go. I actually have to finish my grocery shopping, so I can't just leave my cart here. So now I'm just looking at him and he's just like, you ain't got nothing to say. And when I tell you mute, I'm just looking at him because I wasn't expecting this to happen. I wanted you to take your L like a G. You know that I'm not calling you back. You know that I'm not texting you. We're done. Just be done with me. Stop trying to talk to me, which is so crazy. I probably need to apologize to that man because that's crazy. Like, why was I doing him like that? Why couldn't I have a real conversation with him? Because I was not a real adult. I was not ready to deal with my emotions and I just really wanted to be done with it. So a couple of minutes passed by. He's just looking at me like, for real, okay, this is what we doing. And I had nothing to say. I'm just looking at him. I'm trying to avoid him and he just walks off. So I finish my grocery shopping. I buy me some more wine because clearly I'm gonna need it after that encounter. I come home and I sit down and I'm like, yeah, that's probably not the best thing to do. But it wasn't necessarily that I was caring about him. I was caring about myself. I was being selfish again. I'm like, my roster is dwindling. We just had to kick Isaac off because he was playing in my face. Courtney was the #1 contender at this point. We got Q, but we trying to keep him on the background for a couple of reasons. So I need to get him back because I can't just have one person on the roster because if that person leaves, then what am I going to do? I can't be lonely. I have a fear of rejection. I have an avoidant attachment style. I can't do this. So I go over his house. So I'm trying to mend this relationship, not because I hurt his feelings, not because I did him dirty, just because I am selfish and I need to not feel rejected in this moment. So I drink my wine. Some people call it liquid courage. I call it liquid stupidity because every time I was drunk off of something, I did some stupid things. Like my whole book, I was drunk my whole book because what's happening? Like, who lives their life like that? But anyway, so I drink this wine. I go upstairs, I take a shower, I put on something that's easy to take off, and I head to his house. So I knock on the door, and usually when I knock on the door, he answers it before I can even get the knock, like he's waiting for me to come through. But I didn't let him know that I was coming over, so I wasn't expecting him to wait for me at the door, but I did expect him to answer, and he did not. When I tell you this man played me, he turned up the volume of the TV to drown me out. Are you kidding me? Sir, this is what we doing? You really gonna turn up the TV? So now I know you're there and I know that you're ignoring me on purpose. Ooh, so now my mind is going a mile per minute because a part of me is like, you should climb through the balcony, but I'm not really I'm not really athletic and it's probably stupid. So I was just like, no, I was drunk, but I wasn't that drunk. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do this. So I knock a little bit harder. He's still not answering the door. I feel so defeated and upset. And once again, that rejection is coming in and it's making me feel some type of way. I can't be rejected. One thing you can't do to me is reject me at that point in time because it will drive me crazy. So now I'm scrambling. I'm like, he won't answer the phone. I don't have Isaac anymore. Who's left? Who's left? So I hop in the hoopty and I drive to Q's house. Now this was dangerous as well for a couple of reasons. So Q was in the streets. At any point, somebody could have been watching his house, about to come hit a lick. The cops could have been there. It's just not the best situation for me to be in, but I was so broken and torn at that place. I didn't care. I was not thinking straight. This feeling of rejection that's on me, I have to get it off. I don't know how, but it's kind of like I had to remove it. There was no way that I could go to sleep that night with that feeling of rejection on me. So I went to Q's house and I looked around a little bit. I didn't see nobody scoping out the place. I didn't see no van of people, you know, the cops. You know how the cops have that van. It's so obvious. Cops, y'all need like a new way of doing something. Maybe y'all do have it and I'm just not aware of it. But that big van, nobody has an ice cream truck sitting on the side of the road at 11 o'clock at night. It's just not happening. Y'all need some different strategies. I don't know. Take that to whoever you need to take it to, but whatever. So I'm looking around. I don't see nothing. So I knock on the door. And he opens up the door and I just start attacking him. I start taking stuff off of him. I'm taking stuff off of me because I have something that I need to accomplish this night because I cannot be rejected. So at first he's a little confused because he's like, what? Hey, you know, what's good? Like, and then, you know, he's seeing what I'm trying to do. He's like, oh yeah, you know, good. And then he starts not pushing me off a little bit, but he's just like, hey, I've been meaning to call you. I got to tell you something. And I'm like, bruh, do I look like I came over here to talk? Like, just read the room. Do I look like I came over here to talk to you? Absolutely not. So I'm all over him and he's just like, hey, hold on for a second. And I'm just feeling rejected again because why are you trying to stop me? Why are you telling me to hold on when you know what I'm here for? Am I not good enough for this? Like, this is what you want, right? Like, this is what you wanted as soon as you met me. And now that I'm down for what you're down for, you're not ready anymore? Absolutely not. So I go harder, and eventually he shuts up and does what I want him to do. And we have a great night and we go to sleep and everything's fine. So wake up the next morning, well rested. He's making chicken and waffles. I go downstairs. So we're joking, we're laughing, we're kind of recapping last night's activities. And then he kind of gets this look on his face. And I'm like, you got a boo-boo? Like, what you okay? You need to go real quick? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I'm looking around. So now I'm looking out the window too. Like, okay, there wasn't no cops or no people, you know, looking like they was about to run up on us last night. But is there something different? Like, you got your gun right here. Like, are we ready? Do I need a gun too? You probably shouldn't give me a gun because I feel like I would either shoot you or myself on accident. Like, I'm not built for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? Why do you look like that? And he's like, yeah. So remember when I told you I had to tell you something yesterday? And I'm like, here we go. What's going on? So now my mind is running. I'm like, what did you do? Please don't tell me you have a disease. Like, that is not what I need to hear, especially after what we did last night. That is not on my bingo card. Please tell me that's not it. So now I'm just looking at him like, what? And he tells me that Nikki is pregnant. And I kind of just, I don't know, I'm kind of like stunned, but not stunned. And I just kind of sink in my seat because the rejection that I've been trying to avoid all night, now I'm face to face with it. There's nothing that I can do because you got a baby on the way. And then I feel even more stupid because at this point in my life, I had prided myself on being like the girl who can handle anything. Like, oh, I can just have sex and not have the emotion tied to it. That's fine. I'm grown. We can do this and that and the other. Oh, you talking to her? That's fine. I got my hoes over here too. That's no problem. I can know about all these girls, but they can never compare to me. So I don't really care if you run around them because you always gonna come back. Like, that was my mentality. So now I'm sitting here and you're telling me about this girl that I know about that I've been okay with you messing with and messing with me at the same time because we weren't having sex. Like, we were hanging out, but this was our first time messing around like that. So I know about this girl and now she's pregnant. So he's looking at me to make sure that I'm not about to go off. And like I said, I'm numb. There's nothing that I can really do because I already knew you was messing with somebody else. And I'm just hoping that me and you don't have a baby because I don't want you to have project twins and I don't want to be twin baby mamas. Like, who does that? So it's a lot going on. So he's trying to calm me down. Like, yeah, we didn't plan for it. I'm like, of course you didn't plan for it. You just reckless with your genitals. Of course. Okay, but he's like, but I really want this baby because my dad wasn't around and I want to be a good dad and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just talk is going in one ear and out the other. Sir, I don't care. I don't care about you wanting to be a good dad. I care about me. Like, I was so selfish in that season. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen to me because once again, you're the only person on the roster now. But now you can't pay attention to me and give me what I need because you a whole dad out here. It just was crazy. That day did not end the way that I saw it ending in my head. I have all these different things going on in my mind and now I feel lower than I felt before I even came over here and messed with you. It just wasn't a good time. And y'all don't even want to know what happened next. Well, you probably do. That's why you're here. So stick around because I'm definitely going to give you guys a recap of how my relationship with Q transpired after he told me that he was about to be a baby daddy. But we're not going to get into that today. I'm going to end this episode by doing Q&A with Kay Monet. I want to answer a couple of these questions because people have been asking and I feel like I should answer them. Okay, so the first one is for the old me. It says, you cool, but the new you is uptight and a fun snatcher. How do you put up with her? Skip. We're not doing that. We're not doing that today. We're going to skip through that one. That's what we're going to do. I hope that answered your question. We're not doing that one. All right. Question number 2 says, Q seems like a really good time. How did you keep from going all the way after the movies? Okay. So you're right. Q was a good time until he wasn't, until he pulled up with this baby daddy stuff, but whatever. We'll get to that in the next episode. So here's the thing. When you date as many people as I have, or date as many people as I have, you kind of start to pick up on some character traits where you know that this person is going to be on this type of time and this person is going to be on that type of time. Q was a ruiner, okay? From the time I met him, I knew that he was going to try to ruin my life, my self-esteem, my uterus, my credit, my trust for men. I just knew that he was going to ruin me in all different type of ways, and I wasn't ready for that. I tried to push him aside as long as I could because I knew I was just at a point in my life where I didn't have that much respect for myself. So I knew I was gonna mess with him eventually. Like, how could I not? Like, this man was chocolate, and ooh, just, okay, nope. Take that ooh away. Minus the ooh. He was chocolate, and that's it. We ain't gonna put the ooh on top of the chocolate because that's how I got messed up in the first place, okay? So I knew that he was going to ruin my life. So I tried to like push him to the side. And that's why I kept trying to get this roster popping off, because I was just like, as soon as I mess with Q, as soon as I let him in, as soon as I become physical with him, my life is going to pew. And guess what? I was right. I told you, immediately after I slept with this man, he breaks this news that he's about to be a new dad. And it gets worse. But like I said, I'll tell you about that in another episode. So to answer your question, that's how I kept away from him for so long, because I knew that he was going to do exactly what he came to do, which was ruin my life. And he did it, and did it well. So yeah, let's skip that one. Let's go to the next one. Courtney seems like he really liked you. Why didn't you ever give him a fair chance? Okay, so I get this one often as well. Every time people read my book, every time I talk about some of my experiences, they always kind of bring up Courtney and ask like, well, what's good with y'all? Why didn't y'all really take it all the way? Because it seemed like you liked him, it seemed like he liked you. Why didn't y'all just be together? Several reasons. So first of all, I don't know if you guys remember if I told you this, but when I met Courtney, he had just got out of a relationship, and it reminded me so much of this guy that I had messed with in college. This guy, he had got out of a relationship, and he had came to me and was just like, you so sexy, like I've been looking at you for a while. Even when I was with my girl, I would always notice you, but I just got out of this relationship. I don't want nothing serious, but I do want you. That's how he came to me. And at first I was a little offended, like, how you just gonna come over here and ask for some, like, because that's basically what he was saying. Like, I don't want you, but I want what you got. That's what he said, basically. So I'm like, the nerve, the absolute nerve for you to step to me like that. But then I got to thinking about it, and I was just like, hey, this might be good for both of us. Because once again, with the avoidant attachment style, you want the physical aspects of things. You don't want the emotional part of it. So I'm like, so you're telling me that we can just have like our sneaky deaky rendezvous, and then you gonna go on about your business, and you not gonna hound me, and I ain't gotta worry about like sneaking around. I ain't gotta worry about no other girls. I ain't gotta worry about you being mad at me for being with other boys. Like, this could work, okay? So I took him up on his offer. So we linked up, and you know, we did whatever, and it was cool. It wasn't like, it was cool. So then, you know, I was like, well, maybe he was nervous, you know, this and that and the other, like, we'll link up again. So then we link up again, and he like immediately after falls asleep. And I'm like, you know what? This is not what I signed up for. Like, you made it seem like you was about to be about this life, and you're not. You're absolutely not. So I'm gonna cut it off. So I stopped talking to him, and then he started showing up at my job, like, you not answering the phone. He would hit me up and be so mad, like, yeah, where was you at this weekend? And I'm like, I was at my homeboy's house. And he was like, oh, so you stepping out? Stepping out on what? On who? We are not together, young sir. So I had that type of experience when I was college. I felt like Courtney was going to be the same thing, because it was a similar scenario. You had just got out of a relationship, and when you just get out of a relationship, sometimes you want some of that same stuff to be there. You still want the nightly phone calls. You still want the morning talks. You still want the encouragement. You still want all of that stuff. And I'm like, I'm not here to give you any of that. At this time, I didn't even have a job, y'all. Like, I'm out here being promiscuous. I have nothing to show for it. I'm still broke. Like, this is stupid. Like, I'm not even hoeing right. Like that's the thing that's getting me. Like, I'm doing stuff for free. This is stupid. So this looks too similar. I don't want to mess with him. So that's why I kept him in the friend zone for so long. But then after that night with the movies from Q, like I said, he was chocolate. I was feeling some type of way, but I knew that I couldn't sleep with him. Isaac was out of town, so Courtney was the only person left, and I had lust monkey on my back and I couldn't get it off. So that's why I messed with him. But then as we continue, I told you that him and I started hanging out and that we kind of started to get to know each other. But what I didn't tell you is that he was community peen. And I found this out as we were going on. Like, I knew that he had people that he was messing with, but I didn't know that he was messing with people that I knew. So rewind. I came to Atlanta. I only knew one person, which was my roommate. So she was introducing me to her friends or whatever. And I started creating this community of women, and we're hanging out. We all like to do the same things. We were all young. We're all pretty. We're all getting drunk. We're going to the bars. We're picking up strays. Like, we're having a good time. And I'm ducking off with these different women, having different friendships and different conversations with these people. I'm thinking we're locked in. And then slowly as the weeks go by, you know, when you get drunk, you get a little chatty. So some of the girls is like, did you see Courtney over there with such and such and such? I can't believe I used to mess with him. And I'm like, mess with who? Yeah, me and him used to do. I'm like, okay, so I can't be in your face right now because I'm not ready to tell people. And I'm pretty sure everybody knew he was messing around. Like, it wasn't secretive. I think we thought it was secretive, but everybody was like, they smashing. You know what I'm saying? But we were trying to not have, you know, once again, the avoidant, we were trying to avoid being in a relationship and being associated with each other. So we're trying not to make whatever we have public, but everybody already knows. But the more and more we're talking and the more I'm hanging out with these women, the more I'm realizing that people I know and that I'm hanging out and that I'm trying to build a friendship with, he smashed them. So then there was this other girl, and it was just like, yeah, you know, but I had to stop messing with him because I realized that he was messing with her. And I'm like, it's just, I mean, every single time there was always something after another. And it's just like, now I can't have any friends because I can't be all up in their face knowing I'm about to sit on yours later. Like, this is crazy. I'm not about to do this. So now I'm like withdrawing from some of the friendship circles because I don't want to be that girl. Like, how you in my face when you know you smashed somebody I used to smash? Like, well, first of all, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And second of all, the damage is already done. We've already done what we've done multiple times. I can't undo it. I can't unsmash him right now. So it's just like, and I'm not going to stop. You know, I just wasn't at that point in my life, I wasn't at the point where I could stop. So I'd rather just keep smashing him and kind of pull away from you so I won't seem like I'm shady, but that's probably shady too. I don't know. My life was just not the best at that point in time. Like, a lot of the stuff that I did was just dumb. I really thank God for moving me away from that, because the logic was going to get me killed or beat up or whatever. And it just wasn't worth it. Like, all of this stuff wasn't worth it. So to answer your question, I never gave him a full chance because number one, he was community peen and he wasn't very forthcoming with that information. And then number two, we just had too many of the same, I guess, demons that just would have caused it just wouldn't have ended well. So we trauma bonded, and it came to the point where we started kind of being codependent on each other, because where he was broken, I was broken in the same area. So we were being pulled towards each other. Our brokenness was keeping us together, which is not the best thing to do at all. So we're bonding over bad situations, and we both don't know how to handle relationships. We both don't know how to say, hey, I like you. Do you like me? Do you want to be together? Instead, we say, hey, we're going to spend these specific days together, but I'm also going to go over here and flirt with this person that I know that you know, so that I can make you mad and then come back in your face and take it out on you when we're having sex. Just dumb stuff like that. So it would have never worked. We would have drained each other. We would have drained everybody around us. It just wasn't a good fit. We should have just stayed friends, or we shouldn't have dealt with each other at all. Honestly, if you want to be for real about it, we should have stayed far from each other, or we should have went to group counseling. not couples counseling. We should have went to group counseling because we were dealing with the same demons, and instead of dealing with them, we decided to join them together. Still paying for that, still doing deliverance over the same things from years ago. So if we would have really made that connection and really been together, it just would have been way worse. So it's a no for me. All right, so last question. Your dating life was random and hilarious. How does it compare to how you date now? I don't date now. So here's the thing. I don't know how to flirt anymore. So since I don't know how to flirt, when dudes approach me, I feel like I'm giving homegirl, or I'm not interested. So then that kind of changes the way that they talk to me. And then I take it like, oh, they don't like me, but they are changing their self up because of the way that I'm giving off. So then it just messes up. It's just not good. So here's the thing. When I was back in the world, when I was in those days, I didn't have regular conversations. My flirting was, hey, I'm trying to get to know something specific about you. I was only in it for one thing. I'm trying to figure out how compatible we're going to be in this one area. So my flirting was surrounded by that. Like, I'm asking you certain questions that are not holy or acceptable. And I'm asking you those different things because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to work you and how you going to work me. It was it. One track mind. Like, that's it. It's horrible. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's my truth. But I had been driven by sex for so long that was what my flirting was surrounded by. So when I decided to like give my life to God and say like, hey, I'm not doing this anymore, I had to go cold turkey because when I tried not to, I kept messing up. Like, I would have a conversation, I would get up and I was like, all right, God, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna have sex no more. And then 3 months will go by and I'm like, let's go, like, this is great, I'm doing so well. And then I would meet a guy and then I would be like, messed up. Okay, God, sorry, not gonna have sex no more. And then a week would go by and then it would be like, crap, God, I'm sorry. Okay. And then 2 hours would go by and I was like, okay, look, I have to cut it off completely because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not good at this. Like, I'm trying, but I'm obviously not trying hard enough because every single time I tell God that I'm not going to do something, I end up doing exactly what I told him I wasn't going to do. So I ended up just having to cut it off cold turkey, full turkey, I'm thinking about Thanksgiving. I'm hungry. So anyway, I had to cut it off cold turkey, right? So basically what I did is I went through my phone and I deleted everybody's name out of my phone and then I blocked their numbers. Because the thing is, and I had to learn this the hard way, when you just block somebody's contact, when you go to your block list, their name is still in the list. So I can look and say, where's my favorite? Oh, he's right here. Let me unblock him and set up something for this weekend. And then here I am right back in sin. So what I had to do was remove the name and then block the number so that when I would feel some type of way, when that little lust monkey would get on my back and I would go back to my block list, it's just numbers. And I ain't know nobody's number by heart except for Mike Jones. I'm like 8004, hit Mike Jones up on the low. And it's like, oh, okay, well, definitely not calling him, So I felt like if I can just delete the name and all I see is numbers, I don't know none of these numbers by heart, I'm good. And it worked. It absolutely worked. I have been abstaining for 7 years. Like, clap it up for me because I couldn't go a week sometimes and I would just mess up so much. But I have been 7 years and I'm going to continue to be that way until I get married. Don't get it twisted. So I've been doing well, but it took sacrifice for me to get here. I had to completely cut myself off for men because every time that I would hang out with a dude or every time I would get like a little bit close, I would mess up. So with that, it's good because yes, I have been able to abstain for so long, but it's also bad because now I don't know how to talk to dudes for real. Like, I talk to everybody the same. I talk to dudes like I talk to my homegirls. So now they think that I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving Friendsgiving when I'm trying to give matching PJs for Christmas. It's just not working out in my favor. It's just, I'm not doing well. Like, let me tell y'all a story real quick. So I go to a lot of sporting events. Atlanta has the best game day experiences. We don't win a lot. Our teams don't do what they need to do every time they need to do it, but I'm telling you, you're gonna have a great time at the game. So if you have not been to a sporting event in Atlanta, I suggest you go because it's lit. So I was at the game and I saw this dude, we're talking, we're kind of, chatting it up, everything is good. We're feeling like, okay, this could be something, or, I I like what I'm seeing. Like, I like talking to you. Da, 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 da. So we're talking and I'm like, hey, you know, what's the next game you going to? He's like, oh, I'm going to be at such and such game. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. Like, let's link. And he's like, yeah, most definitely. I'm like, yeah, hit me up. He's like, of course. Da, 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 da. So we're talking. We're still hanging out. I end up going to my seat. He goes to his seats. As I get back to my seats, I'm like, yep, didn't give him a number. Told this man to hit me up, didn't give him nothing to hit me up with. So now I'm sitting there like, how? Fumble, Kay. Smooth fumble. Like, you are not good at this. You've been so out the game that you tell people to hit you up and you don't give them your number. Okay, you're a genius. So now I'm sitting like, well, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna work this out? So I say, okay, I'm going to the game anyway. I'm just going to kind of hover around the area where I met him at, and hopefully he knows to do the same thing and we can still link. Then I'll give him my number, we'll hang out, everything will be good. So I get there, I'm hanging out, looking around, I don't see him. My friend comes, it's her first time coming to the stadium, so she don't know where she at, she don't know where she's going. The Uber done dropped her off all the way down the road. She's completely lost, she's flustered. She's like, hey girl, I'm at gate 4, I don't know what that means. Da, 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 da. I'm like, all right, I'll come get you. So I leave the spot, I go get her, and she's like, I'm so hungry. Da, 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 da. So she gets some food, and then I'm like, well, let me go back over here. But then the game is about to start, so I'm like, okay, well, let's go sit in our seats. So we sit in our seats. We're having a good time. Then halftime comes around, we're walking around again. I'm hoping that I can run into him. I don't see him at all. I don't see him the whole game. Everything's like, okay, well, missed out on that opportunity, whatever. But like I said, I frequent the games. So at another game, I run into him. I'm like, hey, you know, how you doing? Thirsty. Hey, how you doing all loud? Like, why are you, man, why your hey so hard? Like, why is the capital H? Like, hey, like, why are you, I don't know how to do this anymore, right? So it's like, chill out. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, did you enjoy the game? And he was just like, yeah, I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't get stood up. And I'm like, hold on. Time out. I did not stand you up. I was like, I realized that I didn't give you my number, my bad, you know, but I did come over here and I was looking for you. Were you? And he was like, no, you didn't, because I was over here too. And I'm like, well, what time were you here? Because I did come over and I didn't see you. And he was like, nah, you good. And I'm like, well, how about this? Like, let's exchange numbers now, and then next time it can be fine. So we exchange numbers, we go watch the game, and then like, so the next day I hit him up and I'm asking him like, how did you enjoy the game? He was like, yeah, it was cool. Da, 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 da. We're talking about the fans for the opposing team. So we're texting each other and we're having small talk, and I'm like, hey, I would love for us to get a do-over at some point, or are you done with me? LOL. And then he just kind of gets ghost for a couple hours. Now, mind you, when we were texting at first, it was back and forth, like, text you, heart the message, da, 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 you text me back, you heart the message, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're having a conversation. And then I say, can I get a do-over? And you want to get quiet? Now, I'm not as bad with rejection as I used to be, because I've had some healing in that area. But sometimes it's still a little pinch, and be like, oh, well, is that rejection trying to sneak back in here? I rebuke you. Like, what are we doing? Like, so now you quiet. When I asked you, can we get a do-over? You want to act like you don't want to talk no more? So a couple of hours go by, and then he finally says, yeah, as long as you don't stand me up anymore. And now I'm immediately annoyed, because, sir, I done told you that I didn't stand you up. I forgot to give you my number. That was my bad. You have my number now, and you've had it for, I don't know, it's been a while now, and you're not using it. So obviously you're not feeling me the way that I thought you was feeling me, but you're trying to blame me. Annoyed, okay? Seriously annoyed. So people think I stand them up. People think that I'm giving homegirl. I don't know. I'm not doing well in the area of dating, to answer your question, but I'm not discouraged by it for some reason, because I feel like when you're dating, and I wish that more people would kind of embrace this, there's always different signs, and there's little subtle hints that let you know, like, this person might not be for you. If you're getting friend vibes, then maybe y'all are supposed to just be friends, like Courtney and I. I clearly saw how the whole situation was going to work, because I had a previous situation that worked exactly like it. But did I listen? No, I didn't. If this guy that I didn't give my number to now has my number and is not using it, I should take that as a sign that he don't really like me, and that if I pursue that in the future he's going to act stank like he's acting now. Like, imagine. So I didn't link up with you at a game. My bad. Forgot to give you my number. Linked up with you. Saw you at the next game. Gave you my number. Exchanged. Been trying to hit you up. You're not really hitting me back. So imagine we get into an actual relationship and something bad actually happens. Say I'm supposed to be at your event, but something happens to somebody in my family and I need to go be with them. Are you going to say I stood you up? Are you going to let that go? Are you going to be in your feelings about it? You probably are, because you've already subtly let me know that you don't forgive people that easily. But here I go, just trying not to be single, trying to be up on something, trying to be in matching pajamas for Christmas, that I'm going to ignore the small signs. And I really want us to stop doing that. So ladies, if you are getting like a funny type of vibe from somebody, or you're seeing something, God might be letting you see that for a reason. Don't pursue it unless he tells you to pursue it, okay? So I'm not discouraged. I know it's frustrating sometimes, because it's just like, dang, like how you forget how to, like how did you forget how to flirt? Like how did you just completely don't know how to talk to dudes no more? This is all you used to do. You used to just talk to dudes and have them running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And now you can't even talk to dudes for real. You don't even know when to slide somebody your number. Like, what's going on with you? It is what it is, okay? I'm not stressed. I feel like when the time is right, God will introduce me to who I'm supposed to be with, and there will be no questions. There will be no questions, only answers, okay? So that's my spiel for today. Stick with me, because I have several more shenanigans to let you guys in on. But until next time, if you have any questions that you want me to answer in my next podcast, put them below in the comment section. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.